Tangent over here. What's going on, fellas?
Not much, man.
Yeah, no, I thought I'd better pop in and at least show proof of life. I haven't been around for the last couple of weeks, so I thought I'd better do the right thing. I won't be here. Sorry, I won't be here for long tonight. I've got to shoot out again, but yeah, I thought I'd make a special cameo appearance tonight.
Busy man.
Oh, busy man. Yeah, Tuesdays have been crazy.
Are we ever going to have you back? Are we ever going to have you back?
Yeah, I think that should start to settle down. Hang on, I think I'm going to get a bit of feedback here. Yeah, that should start to settle down as of next week, I think. I've got all my shenanigans out of the way.
Nice. Can I just ask, like you guys, can you hear me okay? Because I've got a different setup tonight to my usual setup. Yep. Okay. All right.
Everyone's saying no intro. Yeah, we went straight into it tonight, didn't we?
No intro. I can play the intro. You want the intro? I'll play the intro.
Everyone loves our intro.
All right, I'm playing the intro. Fuck it. They don't give a shit about us. They just want to see that intro.
It is a pretty good.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Shout to day 43, yo, that's the OG. HEX, crypto big payday, you gon' see. Yo, it's November 19, that's the day they predict. Every time I spit, I bring the craziest shit. Shout to day 43, yo, that's the OG. HEX, crypto big payday, you gon' see. Yo, it's November 19, that's the day they predict. Every time I spit, I bring the craziest shit. Yeah.
Man, thank goodness.
To justify what the hell we're doing here, man.
He's phony, she's fake. That's the type of people I hate.
Yo, y'all know the lyrics. Come on, sing with me. Shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away. Off on the natural Charles Bon Voyage. Yeah, from the home of the dog.
Man, it's unwrecked. Thank goodness.
Yo, some of the comments in the chat made it sound like that we were live before we realized that we were. But we weren't talking about anything controversial. We were just talking about that stream you did solo.
Yeah, I think it was just the
lack of intro.
That threw everyone off their game, didn't it?
But 43 said, welcome to that late show. You would think that people would realize that means that we know we're live, right? There's all these comments being like, guys, it's not the green room. But thank you for the warning, guys. That's really nice of you guys. You could have just been like, yo, just let's see how this plays out.
Because what we actually
don't warn them.
We just sit in the green room and badmouth all the people in the chat. That's all we do, right? We just sit here and say, that motherfucker, always with those comments. That's all we do, man. That's all we do. I'm just joking.
Before we get cracking into anything, can we just do a shout out for Crypto Class? Happy birthday. And you are one very talented lady. I've seen
happy birthday, Class.
I've seen a painting that you're in the middle of. It looks like it was of your old man about to do a saxophone on there. They look pretty awesome. You've got a lot of talent there, girl.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Go check
Got
it
a
out.
lot
It's
of
on
people.
Twitter.
We've got a lot of people with a lot of talent in our community.
Yeah, we do.
In fact, that was going to be one of my questions to you guys. So
There's
perfect
heaps of
segue.
trolling talent.
It's
Lots
like,
of trolling
Mm.
talent in our community. Sorry,
Because
dude.
I asked people to submit things that they wanted me to, because I was trying to do daily news on Twitter Spaces, and I wanted people to send me stuff to tell people about that's going on in the HEX community. And typically the stuff that people sent me was just like general crypto news articles, not HEX specific. But I know there's so much stuff going on, and there's probably quite a lot of stuff that's not getting adequate attention for how awesome it is.
So you're after more of a gossip type channel?
No. More just like if someone's done something, it could be like a sports sponsorship, or it could be an event, or it could be like art or whatever it is, just to let me know, like DM me, and I'll try and shine a light on it, like try and get people's attention on it.
Yeah, you have been hitting it pretty hard on the spaces, mate. So good effort on that as well. You've been doing.
Yeah,
those
I've been
every day,
enjoying it. It's like it's a good halfway house where it is time consuming and it is a lot of effort, but it's not as restrictive as if you're on a stream, because if you're streaming, you can't go and do other shit. You can't like clean your house or go to the toilet or any shit. Like it's like you have to sit there. But with a Twitter space, other people come in and talk. You can kind of do other stuff. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think with things like that, you run the danger if you. And I don't know whether you're doing this. Are you putting a time limit on where you run for a couple of hours and then you go, okay, that time slot will finish now and we'll come back tomorrow? Or you just let it open
typically no limit. No limit. I don't really need to. Like, as in, if I've got something on, I'll end it to go and do whatever I need to go in real life. Or if we run out of stuff to talk about, or if I just get tired and don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I was thinking it could be something like the Good Morning Vietnam. You could do Good Morning X, and that would be.
I was actually thinking about that, about the title of this show and others. Like, people have got like Good Morning Crypto, and we've got HEX Late Show. Anything where it refers to a time is probably not, like in crypto, it probably doesn't make sense to do that, because you've got viewers from all around the world where that is not the correct. Like, it's probably too late for us, and it's too late for like Good Morning
like
Crypto,
the happy hour day with
or like happy hour as well. Like, they're all references to a specific time of the day, and then it's like depending on where people are.
Yet they're the only shows that have survived. So
that's true.
That's true. That's true.
People consistently know when to show up, so I think that there's a lot to be said.
That's
for that.
true. Are there any new channels that we need to know about? That was another thing I'm interested to hear from people. If there's like new streamers who are doing a good job. I know I like Doz's channel. DeFi with Dozza.
I like that channel as well.
I like Crypto 7, even though I know that's not super new. And
there's a lady doing streams now that wasn't doing them before. I think Sammy knows who it is, one of her friends. And she's like doing interviews with people and talking about HEX, and I like her vibe. She got a really, really nice, like kind type of vibe.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
You need that to be coupled with, like, so someone with quality content, it's not enough. So if someone's like monotone and dry, and they're like, if their content could be freaking amazing, and people are like, I don't want to watch this shit. Like, I've had criticism about my accent and stuff like that. But basically, if you get that combination, 43, it's fire, because then people are like, I actually want to listen to this shit.
Yep. So I can't remember her. That's terrible. Like, I should look her up or something. But she's very well known. She does like the HEX ladies like streams and stuff. So she's very, very well known. If someone in the chat knows who I'm talking about,
yeah, I'm not familiar with it. So
I'm looking on Sammy's profile, see if I can find something.
So just let's touch on, like, this is the HEX Late Show. So let's touch on the fact that PulseChain seems to be getting closer. There's like the Aragon node seems to be sinking, like it seems to be close to being done, right?
Yeah, that little bit of news got everyone a little bit excited, didn't it? I don't know. Do you think that buy that came in, the large buy, was just coincidental, or it was because it was timed perfectly
No. It was not a coincidence. It was not, because it wasn't just that. What I think it's a rallying, like everyone piles on,
Yeah.
and then every little bit helps in a moonshot.
Yeah. Because that was like 1,000 ETH buy or something, wasn't it?
Because, not gonna lie, I actually saw the tweet when it was only 2 minutes old. I happened to be on Twitter. I saw Richard's face clicked it. It said 2 minutes old. I went to go and buy HEX just like as a because I expected it to just pump. And by the time I had actually got my shit together, the price had already rocket shipped like 13% up. So I think everyone was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. So I guess
it could even be bots. Sometimes there's bots that monitor like Elon Musk tweets and then goes and buys Doge like whenever he tweets and shit like that.
Yep.
Or whenever he tweets with specific keywords, and so you can't beat that shit.
Yeah, but you're right, day 43. It seems to be a little bit closer than ever. Because that was obviously a bit of an issue we had getting the sync done. Looks like
it's got to be close, man. It's got to be. So
and someone noticed that originally there were 16 stages, and now there's only 15 stages. So whatever fix that they implemented got rid of a stage. Yeah, is that reading it right?
And by the way, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not
and
sure.
by the way, the YouTuber I'm talking about, her name is Georgina Carrera. Her name is Mrs. Hart, and she's doing YouTube stuff, and I just like the vibe. I really like the vibe. It's cool.
So check that one out.
Check that out. Yep. So sorry, go on, mate. You got limited time, so you.
I'll hang around for another 15 minutes or so. Look, from what I can see, is everyone's got a little bit more excited. It will be, I think, as soon as we see V3 hit, that's when we're going to. There's going to be peak FOMO, I think. Everyone will realise that there's not really far to go on this. I mean, what's your prediction in terms of once V3 hits? How long do we give it?
Forward, no. I think July. I think July, latest July. I think once V3, I think you want to give people all the. I think you want to give. We want to just double. You want everyone to test it.
You got a lot of teams. A lot of teams.
Mid-May.
I hope you're right.
Mid-May, so that Richard can be like, I told you mid-May.
Yeah.
So do you remember like last year when it was like May, and then people were like May, and then joke, haha,
2023.
Yeah.
If only they had known.
Bullseye.
Actually, why? Sorry to just derail a little bit, but free speech has just popped up in the chat, mate. Did you want to come on and, even if you don't show your head, just hook up a mic and have a chat of what this is all about? Because it is important, and you've put a lot of work into it. So there's something going through. It's going through as part of the, I guess, discovery process in the Australian government. They're trying to put some sort of framework around this beast we call crypto and all the little individual parts about it, and they're basically trying to shoehorn it into the existing framework so they can classify things.
Well, I had a read of it, just a quick read of it. So I think that's in some respects they are, but they're mainly, I think, going to be doing that for the stuff that's got like middlemen and stuff like that, where they can fit it into something. But I am concerned about some of the ways that they want to categorize things. They want to categorize like just like sort of put things into general terms, and I don't like that idea. I really don't like that idea. And we've only got like 3 or 4 days left to reply to those questions. And I mean, maybe we should. How much time do we have, Jexer, in the next couple of days to like write some responses?
I've got to be honest, I'm not up to speed. Like I said, I've been out of the country for the last week or so. So
A lot of the questions with well, look, just honestly, a lot of the questions in there you could probably answer without even reading the document. Like they're just more, I think, like we come from that perspective of if it's DeFi, don't fuck with it. Like that's the perspective I come from. I feel like Jexy, you're the same. Tangent, I feel like, you know, you're sort of the same thing as well.
If it's real DeFi, you don't have to tell them don't fuck with it. They can't fuck with it.
Yeah, they can't fuck with it, but they can make it. They can make it like, you're right, but they can say, all right, like now you can't do this, or you can do this, or you have to do it this way. And then if you don't follow that, it's like you're breaking the law, right?
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I'm. That my concern is they're using a blunt instrument that is. They're trying to do a catch-all and put these things into some sort of category. And in a lot of cases, a token can be more than one thing. So it can be a piece of art, it can be a utility, it can be a store, like it can be all of those things at once. So how do you then break that up and try and classify it? Or then does it have to comply with everything? And I just think there's too blunt an approach to what they're trying to do. And then you've got there's middlemen inserting themselves into the middle of some of this, and they should be regulated because they need to be trusted in the way they're custodying things, and they're not doing fraudulent things. So I think that's fair game. If you're going to insert yourself as a middleman in this industry, then you need to comply with certain things.
Yeah, by all means, regulate where crypto touches like fiat. Like regulate the on and off ramps, and I mean, if you want, I would prefer that that's not even I would prefer that you can just like sell it to someone, you know, just see someone on the street. Hey, you want some Ethereum?
Yeah, so, and I think that's
you want them.
I think that's fine.
That actually protects users, like things that protect users, and nothing that slows innovation.
Yeah, so
unless it's in protection of users, like genuine protection of users, not just claiming that they're protecting users and then actually just
that's
revenue
what. But how do they
and,
know any of it's protecting you? They're not going to know. They're just going to.
I'm saying the general rule that they create, like as in the intention should be to protect investors. If there's any rules at all, that should be what they're attempting to achieve.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're trying to do, but I think they're trying to reach in too far with a lot of things. So as long as, like you say, it stops at those the gateway points where someone has actually inserted themselves into the middle of some sort of transaction. You're saying you should be able to sell it to your mate on the street. And I think you can. Like the peer-to-peer thing, that's never an issue. If I want to sell my car to someone else, I can do that. It's when I go through a licensed dealer, well, then they've got to have all the licenses in place and be doing things in a particular way and handling funds in a particular way. So I don't think that's the issue.
So they do, like, having read it, they are on, they know the terminology. They've got like the terminology down, but this token mapping thing where they want to they're proposing a framework and it relies on like three concepts: tokens, token systems, and functions. So they just want to categorize things in that way. And that's an element of it that I don't like. I don't like that framework. To me, that framework is, like you said, the word that you said, it's shoehorning. And I don't like that. I think that there's plenty of stuff in crypto that just needs to be left alone. And by all means, when it like off ramps, if they need to be taxed, I think that's fair game for governments to want to do that.
Yep.
I don't particularly agree with a lot of it, but I think it's fair game for them to want to do that. You know,
I
think if you bring it into fiat, pay your taxes.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Like that's if you're cashing out and you
no one likes paying them. No one likes paying.
I've got the answer. Right? One rule: if it is determined by a jury of your peers that includes a diverse range of experts and lay people, etc., that what you did was deeply fraudulent, death penalty. Everything else is fine. Yeah. So because this shit, it's like it becomes to a point where it's super obvious. I like it harsh because it gets to a point where it's super
They're gonna kill
obvious, where it's
people.
like, dude, what you did was totally fraudulent, like with FTX, stuff like that, where it's just like, dude, you knew that this is fraudulent. So
I had this discussion
but
with
it would
someone
be people
the
who
other
know what
day,
they're talking
bro.
about. So it wouldn't just be like
on the
enough.
death penalty. On the death penalty, I had this discussion with someone the other day.
Mhm.
So, don't you think that killing someone is like fucking hardcore? Like maybe in some instances, yes, but for financial shit, that seems like what you're gonna kill someone for financial shit. Then you can get framed easily, man.
We won't need to kill anyone because then people will stop acting like that. People stop doing that shit.
Punitive measures do not actually work a lot of the time, man. That's why so many people are in jail for so much shit, because there are so many laws and people don't know about them and they break them anyway. But I like the idea of putting people on a fucking island and letting them fend for themselves. I think that's much more. I think that's better. Like, don't kill people. Do not kill people, man. Why should anyone have that on their conscience? Put them on an island. Say you don't.
That's effectively a death sentence. Like,
no, not if they're resourceful. If they've got some fucking, who's that dude with Wilson? Like if they've got some
Bear Grylls.
No, the guy with the fucking basketball. He had him on a spike. Yeah, that guy. Someone in the chat knows what I'm talking about.
No, you're right. Like, obviously, you can't have action. I'm being extreme deliberately because you're right. You could get set up or whatever, and it's not cool. I'm not. But I just mean a very, very, very serious penalty if it is shown that what you did was deeply malicious, and that you were, you know what I mean, that you were not considerate of what could happen financially.
It must
to
be
your
a terrible
users.
Punishment.
So someone think of what the punishment
Nancy
is.
Pelosi has to blow you.
Wait, well,
I think that would be terrible.
Well, dude, then she's going to end up having to blow herself because she'd be on the receiving end of this shit. Like she would be guilty by my court.
She'd have to have someone else blowing her. We'd have to have someone else. How do I send that link?
I've already done it.
Okay.
Got it to him, so he may chime in. I think it's important we give him a bit of a. He's been working hard and he's been trying to rally everyone. So I think let's give him a bit of an audience and get it out there so that.
Yeah. So we're gonna basically they've proposed all these ideas of like it's essentially what they want to inform the legislative process, and they've got all these questions. And I think that we are the perfect people to be answering these questions. And a lot of you guys in the chat could just, if you're Australian, I guess there's no point doing it if you're not Australian. You could, I might put that link in the chat actually. Let me see if I can get that link.
Where are you posting it?
I'm going to post it in the chat. No, hang on, I can't do that. Why is that not the right link? We'll work it out. But it's basically there's like all these questions, like 13 questions, with like, and you just go in and you just answer the questions. And a lot of you guys will be able to answer the questions off the top of your head because you know all about it.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to be in and out tonight.
I got. Did you just on a side note? Did you guys hear? Remember that video we saw of that Victorian police officer that walked up behind that guy at the station and just like grabbed him and slammed him on his head and knocked him out?
I think I did see that. Yeah.
Remember that? So like all the charges were dropped against Victoria police officer who was filmed doing that. All charges have been dropped by the magistrate.
We need a riot.
What?
We need a riot.
And you want to hear some other shit? The magistrate used to be Dan Andrews' lawyer. Dan Andrews is the Victorian premier. How's that? How is that?
That sounds like time for a riot. That sounds like I'm going to get to tick flipping a police car off my bucket list.
It's a sad
So
state of affairs, isn't it?
while we're talking about shit that's not right in Victoria, let me talk about some other shit that's not right in Victoria. Victoria is a state, like a state in
Hey,
Australia.
Just on that, before you do, what was the public response? Did everyone?
Dude, it's so long ago, no one gives a fuck. You know how things work nowadays?
Short
Like,
Did
attention
people just
span,
maybe not
yeah.
hear about it? Maybe people didn't hear about it. I didn't hear
It
about
was
it.
on the news. It's on Channel 9. Victoria is wrecked. Man, T-Bird, 100% Victoria's wrecked. Victoria is fucking wrecked. Let me tell you something that's wrecked about Victoria. I don't know what like land tax is like in the rest of the country at the moment, but in Victoria, land tax is wrecked. It's wrecking people, man. It's wrecking people. So that, you know how like land tax works? It's the same as like an income tax rate. It's based on a value that some fucking dude picks for your property, the land value of your property. And then based on that, you get like, there's this income tax scale. It's like an income tax scale, but it's based on the land value. If you go into a higher bracket because of the value of the land, you pay more land tax, right? And that is a tax that you pay regardless. You could have an investment. It could be an investment, not investment, doesn't matter. If you have that property, you've got to pay land tax, all right? So that land tax scale has not changed in Victoria for like 15 years or something. And so what's happened in the last 15 years in Victoria? So all commercial property has like tripled in that time. And it basically means that people who have these properties, you know, maybe they're running their business in that property, or maybe they're renting it out to someone. They've been pushed into these higher tax brackets, and a lot of these people are now going to have to pay 2 or 3 times as much land tax as they did last year, because all of the valuations have gone up like 50%.
So it's a form of bracket creep.
It's bracket creep, absolutely. And so
that's fucked. Yeah, that's
messed up. No, it's messed up because there's not. It's like, doesn't seem like there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Do you know who that fucks over the most? So we went through this. And, well, no, there's a particular class of people that get screwed royally. So this happened in WA. I'm saying 5 years ago now, where they literally doubled the land tax rate overnight. And you go, well, that's not too bad. These guys must be wealthy. They've all got sitting on properties and things like that. But you've got
retirees,
older generations of, like, a lot of the lands was like market gardens and things like that. So they brought up all these market gardens when they moved to the cities many moons ago. And they're sitting on these assets that are worth a lot of money, but they're retired. They don't have any income from them. And then they get this big wallop, and literally you're paying $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year in land tax, and they've got no income. So the only thing they can do is offload that asset. They have to sell it because they can't meet those obligations because they just don't have the income to support it. So there's the retiree class are the ones that tend to get screwed.
Yeah. And while we're speaking about how brilliant governments are in Australia, let's talk about the federal government going to fuck with superannuation in Australia, which is our, like, the way that we save for our own.
What do they call it? The 401k or something like that?
In the US, it's, I guess it's there's either the 401k or the Roth one. I don't know exactly. But they haven't done anything yet, but the federal government want to go in and access people's supers and then invest it for them.
Ooh. I haven't heard that one. I heard that they just I heard anyone over with I think it was over a $3 million account, they were going to remove the tax concessions. That's not good. People will just stop putting money.
They want people to be investing in their property initiatives, their like new house building initiatives for, you know, dude, they're like, these guys are fucking diabolical. They're all diabolical. They've got no fucking idea. They've got no idea. They just see money and they V-line straight for it, and they just want to take it off people who have done the right thing, followed the rules, and then they see that, oh, look, this person has ended up with some money. They just want to take it.
The simple explanation here,
yeah, go for it,
is that if you ask the question, if governments can print unlimited money, then why do we pay tax? The answer to that question is they use taxation to modify people's behaviors. So incentives and penalties in tax will cause people's behaviors to be modified. So that's why they're constantly changing the rules, is because they're constantly trying to modify people's behaviors. And that's what all of these problems stem from.
The problem with super is you can't touch it until you're like retired. That's the problem with super. So they're just helping themselves to your shit. Really, it's not right. It's not right.
So, and I don't know how this works in other countries, but in Australia, if you own your own business, you don't necessarily have to pay yourself any super. That's your right to choose whether you do or don't. I've been lucky enough I've been lucky enough to have my own business for many, many years now, and I don't really put that much into super, if anything at all. And the reason why I didn't was I just didn't trust the rules, because I'd seen it happen a couple of times already, where you think the goalposts are here and then they pick them up and put them over here, and you've got zero control over it because, like 43 is saying, your funds are locked. I think that's going to be one of the biggest utilities of crypto, is an alternative to that, to growing your retirement fund. Obviously, if it keeps doing what it's doing, it'll bring that forward a lot quicker. But you've also got access to utilize that however you choose, make it work better for you. So I think the more people, especially younger people, that understand that, they'll move away from the super system in terms of their retirement plans. I think they'll find better alternatives on the blockchain.
Archie says, T-Bird says putting money in super is like staking ETH. And hey, shout out to Free Speech. What's going on, brother?
Well done, brother.
What's happening?
Oh, nice.
Hang on, I've got like the dogs in the background. They might squeak this toy, so I'm just trying to get an audio check.
No, you sound good.
So what's happening, man? What's have you done much? Do you do much streaming at all?
A little bit, but it's not that the channel's not that big, and it just sometimes it covers HEX, sometimes it doesn't. It's more like sort of broad geopolitics. I always try and tie it back to cryptocurrency though, but yeah.
Yep, cool. So you've got a YouTube channel out there that people can go check out?
Yeah. I think I got over 1,000 subs just recently, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah,
awesome. So is it just Free Speech? Is that your YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's the one.
Cool.
Have a look. I think if you click on my name, it brings up the details, the links, and that.
Yeah. Oh, peeps, go check him out. Give him a bit of love with giving that subscribe button a bit of a tickle.
So
just before you jump into it, Free Speech, I'm probably going to have to bail midway through your spiel on when you're telling us what's going on. So I don't want to be rude and interrupt you. So if I just bomb out, I'll just do so quietly so we don't interrupt your flow. But yeah, good to have you on, mate.
Nah, thank you all for letting me come on, and good to meet you all finally.
Likewise.
All right, I'll jump into a little bit, but I guess the easiest way to look at it, I put a tweet out just recently. There was I think it was a Senate hearing of some sort, and they basically had all these groups of one side was sort of pro crypto, the other side was from Treasury, tax department, and things like that. And there was also, I think, a technology non-for-profit that sort of spoke. Just looking for my tweet. They basically had hang on, the dog is making some noises. Basically, they had I think it's amendment to a Treasury Law Amendment Bill, Schedule 2. And apparently they were looking at, I found it. They were looking at treating cryptocurrency as potentially either Hang on 2 seconds.
Yeah, the noise your dog's making is not too bad, man. You can't really. Oh, actually, that could distract some people.
Yeah, that's yeah, so and basically the Schedule 2, they were looking at treating crypto as a foreign currency or not a foreign currency, I guess in the simplest way.
Yep.
There was a thing, and there was only 16 responses to that. So what they did, they had a consultation phase. And basically, what they do with this token mapping one, they have it on a website where you can go in. They, like you said, you've already read, and you can then reply to the questions. You can reply from an individual point of view, from a business point of view, whatever sort of industry you're in, and things like that. So they had that with the Schedule 2. I didn't know about that one. I missed it, and they're still deciding on whether or not they should actually treat it as foreign currency or not. So that's pretty interesting. Then this one, again, the simplest way to look at it is if you want to, you can reply. And basically, I just sort of tried to tell them, don't touch it too much. There's enough laws and regulations. You're going to stifle innovation, most likely. But the next thing will be the results from that. So the results from that will be like, I guess, the findings. And they also had, a board of taxation review findings. That's due mid-September 2023. It's pretty boring stuff. Basically, they were asking people what they thought of digital assets, being cryptocurrency, and how they should be treated. And I put forward a similar response to that. Basically saying, been in crypto for a long time, try not to stifle innovation, etc., etc. And then things like since that paper was sort of issued, the whole FTX thing happened. The Celsius thing was in the process of happening. A lot of other exchanges were crashing and crumbling. So that's why I think they brought out this token mapping thing. I'm not sure.
That, to me, the whole token mapping thing seems like where they can, where it can fuck up. Excuse the terminology.
Yeah,
I just feel
100%.
like that is where things can get miscategorized, and I just don't see the benefit to it. I really don't. I just feel like
agree.
If people and I think that we need to reply to these questions, and the more people that reply, the more, I guess, it gets considered. I assume.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows how it all ends up going down anyway? But I just think that if they're gonna start trying to dig their claws into DeFi, I think it's a fool's errand. I just don't think that. I don't think it's gonna have the outcome that they want, and it's probably gonna, like you said, stifle innovation. But they did have some stuff in there.
They have to be careful, because every time they try to create a law that they can't enforce, they look foolish. And so in some ways, the harder they go, the more they're going to get wrecked against real DeFi.
Yeah.
It's been happening globally against Bitcoin the entire time. China, Russia, India, ban, unban, ban, unban, ban, unban. It's just and they, every time they just look foolish, because they're like, you look like you can't enforce the rules. You're like, we're the superpower, and then we're changing our mind. We're doing more backflips than a circus acrobat because we didn't actually understand what we were up against.
And that's the worst thing for innovation that you can have, is when you've got governments doing backflips. And it sort of ties back to the thing that we're talking about with superannuation. It doesn't help when governments are flip-flopping and changing laws. People, the community, we like things to be stable. We like stability, so we know what we're dealing with, whether it be superannuation or whether it be crypto, the way government deals with crypto. Having said that, there's maybe they feel that their current law, the current regulation is inadequate. I think that they could probably exclude certain types of crypto from regulation completely. That's the real DeFi stuff could just be excluded completely. It doesn't mean not taxed. I mean, clearly, if you're going to come out into an Australian bank account, they're going to know about it. They're going to want to tax you. So I'm not saying that should go away or will go away. I would like it to go away, but I think that's not going to happen. So yeah, I think essentially they should probably not dip their toes into things that they can't control, because I think that's gonna, like you said, I think that's gonna end up making them look foolish in the long run.
I think also it's interesting because there's been so many delays. So initially it sounded like they're trying to rush out some sort of regulation, but they had a hearing recently and they had sort of pro-crypto, I guess, and government bodies talking about this sort of thing, providing evidence and stuff like that. It was very interesting to listen to. Basically what they're saying is, what it seems like, I guess the summary is, after this Board of Taxation review takes place, and after the token mapping review takes place, there's going to be another sort of thing to review called the what was it, licensing and custody consultation paper. So that will be like, I think, mid 2023, and so then they will basically get findings from that. So there'll be another chance to submit again, I guess, against whatever proposals they have. And then it sounds like if they were to do anything, I mean, they might not, but if they were, it doesn't sound like there's going to be any new regulation or anything like that, or legislation regarding crypto. Maybe early 2024 at the earliest, but it might not even come. So it seems to be like they're pushing it back further and further. And I just sort of hope that everyone gets together, sort of writes into them where we can, and just let them know, don't, like you guys said, and like some of the pro crypto guys were saying, they're like, you don't want to move too early on this, otherwise you look silly. Can you, do you actually know what you're doing? Because everything is moving so fast. And throughout the whole thing, they don't seem to mention DeFi, because I think they do understand that DeFi will just move, if it's where it's treated best. So again, the whole don't stifle innovation.
They do touch on it. They touch on the concept of DeFi, but from what I read, that they're mostly focused on just in that their proposals are mostly focused on the the middlemen in crypto, mostly focused on that. But I mean, these are just proposals. Who knows what they come up with in the end. On a similar note, in relation to new laws in Australia, the Albanese government has announced the creation of a new National Office for Cybersecurity, and is considering radical new laws giving government greater responsibility for responding to cyber attacks. Where was it? There was a part of this that I didn't like. It's something to do with yes, the government also released a discussion paper canvassing a range of reforms, including banning ransomware payments and giving the Australian Signals Directorate the power to commandeer the IT systems of private companies when they are under cyber attack. What? What? So man,
that could go both ways, eh? Yeah.
That goes one way, dude. That goes one way. It's like it's a very simple way. It's like at any time they can just come into your business and commandeer your IT systems because they say you've been cyber attacked. I don't know, man.
There was a saying, I read this other article basically saying the fintech is in the front and the DeFi is in the back of cryptocurrency. So like you see with the whole Coinbase thing, something about their base, whatever, they released something. And it's basically they're sort of building that on top of Ethereum. And so they've got the fintech at the front, exchanges, and at the back, they've got DeFi in the back. And they're not really talking about DeFi as much. So it's just interesting. Yeah. And then with the whole, I did see that they've got like some initiative to encourage sort of safe cybersecurity practices. But it sounds like they're going to be, if it's for your own good, we're from the government, we're here to help you. But if we don't like something, we can shut it down pretty easy.
Yeah, like we seem like when you just add up all these like laws that they've been coming up with, like they've got the password law in Australia, yeah. So, what's that password law, Tangent? It's like any law enforcement officer can ask you to unlock your device at any time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. You have to unlock your device. That it might actually be only if you're under arrest or at border control. I don't think a cop can just come up to you on the street with no, probable cause, like as in a bit like searching your car. But if they claim that they've got a reason to suspect you or whatever, or if you're under arrest, which is pretty loose, they can arrest you for like virtually any shit, even if you've done nothing wrong. Then at that point, I think you have to unlock your shit. And if you don't, it's a crime. And they do this shit where they assume the worst as well. It's like they'll assume that what you had on your phone is like the worst possible thing. If you don't unlock it.
Don't keep your private keys on the old phone.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah. Don't do that shit.
Or just carry two phones, and when they say give us your phone and unlock it, you just give them the one that you're just like here, and it's got nothing on it because it's your old phone.
I'm not too familiar with that stuff, but yeah, I just thought I mentioned the whole I mean, I've even written a submission for that token mapping. I'm not sure if it would be worth if I share it with everyone and then everyone just spams it in, but I'm not sure if that'll, look as good.
I think if they see a lot of people are all submitting the same thing, they're going to suspect some kind of like bot attack. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It might take away from the strength of the argument.
So what we need to do is we get your results, and everyone needs to chat GPT, rewrite the answers.
But rewrite these answers in the style of Tim Dillon.
But everyone might have a different, because like not legal advice, not tax advice, nothing. But so everyone might have their own different take on it, so they might not agree with what I said. So, but I mean, I'm happy to share it if you. I think I put it on a.
Nah. They all agree, man. They all agree. They all agree. They wouldn't be here if they didn't agree. Who doesn't agree? Come on, tell me in the chat. Who doesn't agree? That they should stay the fuck off our crypto.
I was trying to word that into the response, like in a nice way.
Yeah. Hands off.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's can we look at a HEX chart? Would this be possible?
Someone? Yeah, sure. You want against ETH or against USDC?
I say both.
By the way, I want to try and get everyone, try and convince everyone to get away from USDC, censorship coin. And I think there's going to be a natural progression away from it anyway once we go on PulseChain. I don't think that's going to be a dominant stable on the new chain.
Yep.
But it's a good opportunity to encourage people to make that change while it's kind of being semi-enforced on them anyway.
Yep. Hold that thought, dude. Hold that thought. I just want to say thanks to Free Speech for coming on. Do we have a link or something to that consultation paper? Do you have a link or anything, mate? And then
yeah, I'll pull it up.
I can put it into the chat, and there's a PDF or something. It's 59 pages long. Have a look through it. I mean, it's not too heavy. You guys who are all in crypto, you will understand what you're reading. And look, if you can contribute, I'm gonna write a contribution tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. So yeah, look, if you need to bounce Free Speech, or if you want to stick around, it's up to you, mate. We're just going to be chatting about HEX and related things.
I can stare off another 5, I reckon.
No worries, mate. I've just put the link in the chat. That's the PDF. You can go download it. Okay. Here we go.
So this is a weekly chart, and I had to switch over reluctantly to Uniswap V3 because V2's obviously got longer history, but the chart just got stuck. Like the price just got stuck at like 5.8 cents and was there for about a day, and I just gave up. So what you're seeing here is so this was the all-time high of HEX, and you're not seeing any of the history back before sort of like June 21. But this is all we really need to see anyway, because we don't really care what happened. We're assessing these downtrends, yeah? So this line here, it probably shouldn't be green. It should probably be red, is like the most generous bear trend that I can give to the entire bear market. So you'll see it clips the very, very highest point of this wick on the weekly, the very, very highest point back here at the all-time high. I don't know why there's such a gap, such a massive gap in the price over here, but whatever. And if you use that trend line as sort of like the final stand for descending trend lines for the bear market, and people variously say that you should or shouldn't put weight into this, but this is what, like, a descending trend line is one of the more powerful, you know, like a straight line trend is one of the more significant things that you consider in TA. It does have statistical significance, in my opinion. So, basically on this candle last week, we broke through and we've effectively retested this line, and now we're pushing off. So, you know, according to the TD, at least another week of upside. We've got this horizontal support, which has actually rejected the price pretty much perfectly this week at 6.7 cents. And, you know, you'll see these other lines that I've drawn here that at a time would have been sort of more localized downtrends. I'll make them yellow. So here we broke this downtrend, but then effectively rode the top side of that trend line as support all the way down to the very bottom of the bear market, the HEX bear market. So, you know, I like to look at these trends and see when these descending trends get broken. Here, when this one broke, it went hard. So that's that trend through there. I'll also make that yellow. Once that broke, it was just an absolute moonshot all the way back up and didn't really get properly rejected until we hit the larger descending trend, which gave us that red candle last week. So this is great. This is all very bullish, particularly when you consider that fundamentally with PulseChain coming out soon and that sort of thing, you expect, and the broader crypto market looking really strong, we're expecting upside anyway. But from a technical point of view, it's great. Apart from maybe this level here at 6.7, I think there might have been something else that this blue line through here is like a moving average. It's a 50-week. That's a 50-week moving average that we've also, you could argue what I just said about how we're breaking that descending trend, the 50-week was about at the same spot. So they were coincident and we broke both, and now they're both support. So this is epic. It's all good news.
That's cool, man. That's cool. We've needed some good news in HEX for a while. I mean, that's an epic. You know what I'm seeing on the screen? You know how there's that downtrend from in the middle of the chart there? Right in the middle, there's that massive epic downtrend.
This yellow one?
No, sorry, not the downtrend, just all the wicks that go 1, 2, 3. Your mouse was.
This waterfall of price collapse.
The death spiral of that one there.
So like the most hectic, relentless decline with no bounces on the weekly chart.
So what we've had now is we've had
like a similar number of weeks, similar sort of descent. Yeah, good
we've
point,
had
man.
the
Let's measure
uptrend.
Let's measure this. So not including wicks, this was an 80% drop. And what we've done now, coming from the bottom, also not including wicks, is a 230% pump. Obviously, the percentages work differently on the way down than what they do on the way up. You know, Richard started talking about like declines in X's, like in terms of effectively like the way he's doing it, it's like lost X's, or like what you are now compared to what you were. So the way he would define this is as a loss of, I think he would do it like this, where he's basically saying, I think is it 5x? Yeah. So an 80% drop. So you lose 80, you're left with 20. He would call it like a 5x loss, like a 5x drop.
Yeah.
I.e., it would take a 5x to get back. It would take an actual 5x upwards to get back to where you were from 20% to 100%. So, and the reason that measures at 400% is because remember, you always add one, right? Like it's whatever the percentage is, it's divide by 100 plus 1 to get it to X's, because the first X is 0%. And then 2x is 100%. So that's quite interesting observation that you made on here. And what makes me want to do also is show you guys the Heikin-Ashi candles, which are typically good at showing momentum trends without having to actually use momentum indicators. The candles themselves become momentum, basically an indication of momentum. And you can see that drop that we had, that you highlighted, it's just all red candles with no upper wicks. And as it starts to slow down, you get these wicks above. That's how you can tell that the Heikin-Ashi candles are indicating that the momentum is maybe starting to slow, is you start to see wicks. So notice through here, no wicks. So this is like still full steam momentum on the weekly time frame. You don't fade shit like this. Like people who are still speaking bearish about HEX are rookies. It makes no sense, right? So if you start to see indications of bearishness, then you can flip bearish. But this is not the time to be bearish. We've got all sorts of, like, look at the moving averages as well, right? See these moving averages. So the 12-week and the 24-week have already turned around and are pointing up. The last one that I've got listed here is because obviously you choose the moving averages, but this 50-week obviously is still downward, but 50 weeks that's a long time. By the time you wait for that moving average to turn around and face upwards, typically you've missed like the most of the upward run or a decent significant amount of it. So we've got, the price. So the last thing for this to be like, for my moving averages here to call this as a bull market, is for these two to actually be above this one and for it to turn around as well. If I drop to the daily, you'll see that has already happened. So daily chart, which is high time frame enough to call a bull market, daily chart, people, that's not a low time frame. Look at this. 50-day, 24-day, and 12-day, all upwards, all in the correct order with the price above. That is how some people define a bull market. So, there's lots to be bullish about. Look, again, the Heikenhashi candle's bullish. It's all bullish. Like I continually ask people, hit me with your most sort of bearish data, your most evidence of bearishness. Try to make me bearish. I want you to make me bearish so I can actually be more bullish, right? Like I want there to be legitimate bearish shit to point to so I can be more bullish because the market climbs the wall of worry. And people haven't been able to give me any proper
I
bearish
like
shit.
that. The market climbs the wall of worry.
Yeah, it's a Wall Street saying I stole from Bill. But basically, people have been unable to give me any legitimate bearishness other than macroeconomics. And I think we're decoupling. I'm seeing evidence that crypto is decoupling from macro. And that would also be really good if we did that.
Someone's asked about, someone has said, check the sentiment oscillators. Do you know what they are?
That like TradingView does have that shit built in somewhere.
It's cool if you,
I think I've accidentally seen them before. Like I've accidentally clicked something that's brought them up, but in my opinion, they're not that great. But let's see if I can find it. Maybe here. In fact, let's just go through this entire thing. No.
Hey, can you mod me? Accidentally block myself and laser. I don't think I can mod you, actually. Let me see. I don't think I have the power to, Sammy. I'll try, but I don't think I've got the power to.
I've definitely seen that shit before, but I mean, like, token metrics have got like claimed that they use AI to do these like bull, bear, buy, sell indicators for like trader and investor specs, so i.e. short-term, long-term. And they're just not, they're just not that reliable. I don't think you can really, I wouldn't put a lot of weight in it. And I assume that this would be a screaming buy. If the indicator is worth any shit, this should be indicating a screaming buy because it's like strong uptrend. Like, who wants to fade an uptrend this strong? Seriously? All we've ever done, there's barely ever been any pullbacks more than about 20%. It's been going up for 2 months straight, breaking all sorts of horizontal and diagonal supports. What do you want?
I got a question. Like, do you think, because it flipped in the new year, basically?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It was just like it did. Crypto did a New Year's resolution to just go up instead of down.
Don't a lot of countries like that's the start of their financial year beginning?
Yeah, you do get claims of people doing tax loss harvesting towards the end of the year. Also,
there was plenty of that to do.
Claims, and claims of people having to sell assets to pay the tax bill early in the following year. So there's those two narratives as to why crypto might get sold close to the end of the year and also in the early stages of the following year as people need the money to pay their taxes. But this thing was pretty much like Jan 1 LFG. So that's 31st of December. That's Jan 1. Oh, it actually did go down for like another 3 to 4 days. So that narrative of people selling into the end of the year and the very start of the year because of tax loss harvesting and tax funding, the chart would support that, even though it's obviously not the only thing going on. And then after that, keeping in mind, this is the HEX chart only. It's obviously not the broader crypto space is the, if you type in total, it gives you the total market cap. That's still on Heikenhashi candles, by the way. So yeah, the HEX chart looks even more bullish than the total cap. But look, I drew this channel a really long time ago, right? So this channel for total cap, oh, that green circle would have been me predicting or hoping that that was the bottom. And realistically, we didn't go that much lower than that, but we did actually. This was June 22. So I'm not sure what the event was, but it certainly looked like a capitulation to me at the time. Could that have been? How much was it?
What did it go to? 2?
Oh, this is total cap, so it's like 780 billion. But so this remember, this is total cap. So, but anyway, I drew this channel in here, and it appears now that this could have just been like a deviation to the upside. This was a deviation to the downside, and now we're above that shit again. I don't know. Maybe this channel should be broader. You can make your own decisions about that, but we're above it again. We're above this horizontal channel that I drew. We've basically found support on the top of it. I mean, total, like maybe you can't really do TA on total cap, but the good news is I didn't know if HEX was being included in these totals or not. And it appears that TradingView does actually take HEX seriously. It doesn't do that NA cap shit. It actually includes HEX in the total.
Dude, I still want to know if they include wrapped BTC and like real BTC without deducting one from the other. I still want to know if they just add them all together.
Yeah, I'm also curious by that because it would be double counting if you're doing both. Yeah. So yeah, this is looking really good. It's looking strong. I mean, if the total cap. Oh, by the way, I tweeted out an article about realized cap, which is a much better metric, but it's just harder to calculate. And I think if someone went to the effort of creating a realized cap ranking website, which is realized cap versus instead of market cap, it would take over as the most used and utilized site for people going and looking at like coin rankings. It's slightly harder to calculate, and it's even harder to calculate if the coin doesn't have a UTXO model. So UTXO coins are already harder to calculate, and then account-based model coins like ETH and ERC20s is another level more difficult. So it's not, because I was thinking about doing it myself, and then it looks like it's actually harder than I thought it would be. But that would be dope. So yeah, but look at this. If we went anywhere near this, so this was we clipped 3 trillion. We clipped 3 trillion on the last bull market. So even if just to get back up to all-time high is like a 3x, and then where does the fib extension go to? Like 11 trillion. At 11 trillion, crypto would still be tiny. I almost think like in the next bull market, we kind of have to go higher than 11 trillion, right? Like 11 trillion as a major asset class that's now being taken seriously by all governments. UK and Europe have defined or are in the process of defining and finalizing crypto legislation. Some countries have got it as legal tender. Like it's being taken seriously on a global scale. Do you think an asset class that's got that much global seriousness should only be worth $11 trillion? That's nonsense. That's play money. So I wouldn't be surprised if we extend beyond these fib extension levels in the next bull market.
What do you think we're going to get to in the next bull market?
Because that's an 11x
capitalization.
Oh, it's hard to say, but I'd say higher than this. I think we should extend. Yeah. So this is an 11x from here.
I'd say higher than this as well.
I heard a popular YouTuber, like a crypto YouTuber, say, if you are positioned reasonably well in like half decent coins that are not just complete garbage, and you're positioned now-ish, like if you positioned yourself over the last couple of months, you should expect to make at least a 20x across your. So Some of your shit might perform more than that. Like you might have like a Pulse or a PulseChain that might do like 100, 500x. But some of your other shit, like if you've got a Bitcoin bag and an ETH bag, just because you've got ETH for paying fees, you've got old Bitcoin that you haven't sold, whatever the reasoning, and that shit might only do like a 5x or a 10x. And so on average across all your bags, and some might lose money, right? Like some of your investments can go down as well. So they're saying on average across all your bags, you would expect to make about a 20x at least. So that would tie into the, that I think that is consistent with everything that we've discussed here, right? About where that cap is likely to go.
Hex has had a very good start to the year. Like, so if we're saying on average 20x, where did we get down to in Hex? It was about a 1.7, I think.
1.7, yeah. So it's already done about a 4x. It's done,
and then what did it get to? What was
3.8x to get to where it is now.
But what did it get to? But what did it? What was the high that it got to? It got up to 7, didn't it?
7 cents, yeah.
Just straight flat 7 cents.
Hex would be one of those outliers that I'm expecting to do way more. Because think about how pathetic that would be if Hex only did a 20x in this bull market from the low, right? Let's just grab it. So it's 1.7 cents.
What did Bitcoin get down to?
So Hex would only go to 34 cents, bro, off a 20x off the bottom. So it wouldn't even make a new all-time high. And we know that that's highly unlikely, right? Although maybe if someone says once you've got the stock split and you've got both coins, if they perform similarly well, then this 34 cents gets multiplied by 2 and it's actually 68 cents. But I don't think that's...
I think even, I mean, look, it would be a new all-time high and no one's going to say no to that. But I would be disgusted. I would be disgusted if Hex didn't go to at least 2x from all-time high. Disgusted is hard, but no, I agree with
minimum.
Disgusted.
Minimum. Like anything less than that, I would spit on it. I would spit on that shit. I would print out logos and spit on it. There's no way it's going to perform that poorly. And by the way, caveat, assuming a full proper bull market, right? Like as in, this is not, I'm not saying it has to happen 2023. I'm saying in the next proper bull market, whenever that occurs, because you still have people saying there's some degree, nothing's ever 100%. Some people still have some degree that this is not a full bull market yet.
What did Bitcoin get down to? What was the low? Do you know off the top of your head?
15 about 15K.
15K.
I can pull it up. So again, I need to get off Heikenhashi candles though.
So how's this, right? If Bitcoin did the X's that Hex has done in the last 2 months, it would have gotten to $61,000.
This chart only goes down to 15.5.
15.5, so it would be higher.
Oh yeah, bro. That's the hilarious thing, right? So 15,500. Oh shit.
Times 4.11.
That's close enough.
63, almost $64,000.
So Bitcoin would have to go from the low back to just above its all-time high just to get the performance that Hex did in the first 2 months of this year. Now, to be fair, you're dealing with you're not comparing apples with apples because you're dealing with a lower liquidity, higher risk asset.
You're dealing with an adult, like an adult versus a child. Like they're different. They're not the stages of their development. One did, however, 97% drop. The other one didn't.
I still think it's fair to make that comment. So just to highlight what we've already achieved this year in Hex is like a Bitcoiner. How excited a Bitcoiner would be for diamond handing his bag through the lows. How excited they are when he gets back to all-time high. We've already done it.
Yeah, we did it. We did it in 2 months.
We've already done it. Yeah.
X just did it in 2 months. And we're just getting started, baby. Just getting started. I mean, I don't know. I think what you just said about what's happening on the chart. Oh, by the way, I saw something. Let me see if I can bring this up. Have you ever watched, Axis?
Axis Alive?
Yeah. Have you ever watched any of his stuff?
tweets. And I've seen him on streams with multiple people. I don't think I've ever seen any of his solo streams.
Right.
But I like his TA from what I see in the tweets.
Yeah. Okay. So give me 5 minutes. I'm going to tee up a couple of videos which are fucking fire.
All right, I'll pull up the ETH chart while we're waiting, or while you're grabbing that, just so that we have another quick look. What the hell? Where's my ETH chart? Where's my ETH chart, you dog?
Your dog.
Your
dog. Fucking dog.
You fucking dog. All right, so ETH, look, this is good as well. Like, look, so this is an old, we're going to go back to weekly for this. Fuck yeah, look at this shit. So ETH was in this epic, like coiling in on this epic fucking wedge, or like, you know, whatever you want to call it. And so it's like boom, boom, just absolutely tagging the shit out of this thing. And then break, retest, see ya. This is high time frame shit, by the way. This is weekly. So, but this is now support. So we can make that green. Oh shit. Okay. I don't know. I pressed the button, it blanked out. And so
good. Do you need it back, or?
Oh, no, all good. That's all I really wanted to say. ETH is looking bullish as well.
Okay. All right. Let me see if this plays.
If this is the bottom, which I believe it is, and you're going up here, and let's say we get a retracement. Right now it's looking like the retracement's only going to go to like maybe 5 cents. This is making some assumptions, of course. The 2618 has got you at $1.60. And then maybe that this move plays out, maybe that gets you to top out around 70 to 80 cents based on fib extensions. But the reason why this tool doesn't work that well yet is because this move isn't over. So I think that this move is going to get us up to like 12 to 20 cents. So I have to make some assumptions here. We could assume like, let's go to 20 cents and then retrace back down to 12 cents, right? Well, now your 2618 target's sitting at $70. Your 2.0 target's sitting at $16, which isn't too far off of that $12 target. You know, that's when
Wait, did you hear what he just said?
$12 target?
$70, he said. What?
Oh.
What?
What? Oh, Luke.
Hang on a second. Wait a second. I'm going to hear that again. What?
That's cap.
Hang on a second. Wait.
That's right. Well, now your 2618 target's sitting at $70.
$70.
Your 2.0 target's sitting at $16, which isn't too far off of that $12 target. You know, that's when speculative may.
How is this possible, bro? I mean, I know this is just math, okay, but my mind can't wrap my head around
what the fuck?
As far as
so the reason why
wealth creation.
Yeah, the reason why this is possible is because of the amount of zeros that's getting deleted off the balance sheet. And so what I mean by that is, if I pull up HEX first Bitcoin, I'm gonna try to illustrate it.
Right, you know what I'm going to do, man? I'm going to divide 70 by 0.017, which is 1.7 cents.
Mm-hmm.
That's only a 4,000x from the bottom, so it is possible. So, like, as in, you know how Richard said HEX could theoretically do another 10,000x, right? Like, most people would probably claim that's unlikely, but remember, that's not from the all-time high. That's from the bottom, where we've already gone down 95%. So this would be 4,100.
10,000 times 10,000. What's that?
A million?
That's 100 million.
Oh, sorry. Way more. 1,000 is a million. So it's 100.
Oh, hang on a second. Wait, but you need to work out
the
all-time low to
Remember
1.7,
and also the pullback.
The 1.7. You have to go to. Hang on, let me work.
And also, the 10,000x was from a cherry-picked bottom, not from the start. So some people have even been starting to say, well, we didn't really do a 10,000x on people who were day one.
No, it's a 10,000x from I think
bottom,
the standard.
From the very bottom.
That's the standard though. That's the
so
standard.
if you start de-cherry picking some of this stuff to make it a bit more realistic, I think doing a 4,000x on HEX from the bottom of this cycle is not that insane, but I just say don't expect it to happen. Like I wouldn't want people banking on us getting to $70 per hex.
Let me just jump in here.
Go.
From the all-time low to 1.7 cents is only a 300x.
Oh, bro,
right?
Then we're just getting started.
Yeah, so 10,000x from here.
So we probably have to do at least 1,000x.
Would only be a 54. Let's just say a 55,000x. Only a 55. So that's only a 5.5x on top of the all-time high. A 55,000x.
Cherry picking the bottom again.
Always cherry picking the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, always cherry picking the bottom. But if
but
I take
you got to look at how many people were actually able to buy that price. I think day one. So if you look at OGs, like Hex OGs as a cohort, the majority of them went large on day one, which means that if you're looking at the number of X's that a coin has done in terms of like the dumpability or the desire to dump or the tendency to dump by people who have large holdings, that's probably the more realistic start point for this type of measurement, because that's the majority of those people who have big bags got them.
It's not the standard though. It's just like unemployment figures. It's like,
yeah. Oh, look. Well, if you want to flex on haters, then cherry pick the bottom. But if you want to try and gauge how likely we are to get like dumped on by OGs, I think you'd pick day one. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of that shit got locked up anyway.
But I say we just flex on haters.
So I'll tell you another thing that someone said, which is even more crazy, and make this $70 call look like a tic tac. Someone said it's very likely that a single hex could be worth more than a single Bitcoin. That was their opinion. That's not my opinion, but I did hear that as a and I don't know whether they're saying more than what a Bitcoin is worth now or more than what Bitcoin is worth at the time, which is even crazier again.
How long until a T-share is worth more than the Bitcoin?
Oh, sorry, dude. Maybe that was it. Sorry. I think that was what they said. I think they said a T-share will become worth more than a Bitcoin.
That's definitely going to happen. That will definitely happen, dude. Because T-shares
we almost did it last cycle. We went to 10K.
Yeah.
We went to 10K a T-share. So yeah, you're right. That's actually not that difficult. Maybe it was a hex. God damn it. So, but I guess I want to re-bring this chart up. This again, I'm not taking credit for this. This is something that someone else said that was quite interesting. It turned out to be true, even though at the time I'm not even sure whether you can draw TA like this, but check this out. So if you share that, so someone said, yo, what about if this chart pattern is a head and shoulders on Hex, but with really massive shoulders, just fucking just jacked out. No one can see me at the moment, so I just flexed for no reason. A tiny head, and then another pretty big shoulder. Then the target of this, still using the head as the measurement, is something like, boom! It already got hit. So anyone who TA'd this gigantic head and shoulders with a tiny ass head and massive shoulders, their target got hit like 2 weeks ago on this massive green 6 candle. And that coincided with the 50-week moving average and the downtrend as well. So that's pretty phenomenal. And by the way, they called it before this thing pumped out. I remember drawing it on a chart after they'd said it, and I apologize, I can't give credit because I forgot who said it. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. It was only when you started bringing up Axis's video that I remembered that.
I've got another one from him that I think it was in the same thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
if
man, do it.
I might have played them the wrong way around.
Right.
I'm loving this
is
chat, by the way.
Price denominated in Bitcoin. So right now it's 264 Satoshis for a hex. That's what this is saying. So you notice how here on this is like a run-up cycle, and then there's like a sell-off cycle. Well, think of this sell-off cycle in terms of billions of hex. And what I mean by that is like The guys that were dumping their hex here were dumping tens of billions of hex, and it was being accumulated by hundreds or thousands of users. Okay, maybe like 1,000, 2,000, maybe 5,000 users was accumulating these billions or tens of billions of hex. Well, then look at the most recent cycle. This sell-off cycle, you had thousands or tens of thousands of users accumulating hundreds of millions of hex. It's not billions anymore. Yeah, we might have went through 4 billion coins, but think of it more in terms of like this cycle was billions of hex being sold. This cycle was hundreds of millions of hex being sold. Okay, and here you have, let's say, 5,000 people accumulating it, and here you have 50,000 people accumulating it. So it's a redistribution effect where no one man has enough economic power to push the price down with this much force ever again. That's what's happening. That's why Bitcoin didn't retrace the full 85% this time, or that's why it didn't go 95% last cycle. It's because every time there's a new cycle, there's less zeros in more hands. Make sense?
Yeah.
The term less zeros in more hands, probably not a very accurate way of saying it, but like, or less in terms of less large numbers.
Yep. Less zeros in more hands.
Less zeros being the number of zeros. Yeah. Less large stacks, more distribution, like more distributed supply. But I mean, Richard says that doesn't really matter that much. You know how he says that when you've got whales, they're not the desperate plebs that are going to sell, like panic sell dips and shit.
Yep.
But yeah, like I guess distribution, it can be looked at, like it can be framed either way. And you know, Richard was probably framing it like that at the time to help people think through it and not panic about those ideas. And it probably is still a good thing to have. Look, I mean, it shows adoption as well to have more users and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's good. I mean, now I think we should almost feel guilty for talking about hex prices as low as like $1 compared to this.
$70. Holy shit. That's like $100 Australian, like $100 per hex Australian.
Oh, 100 per hex. Yeah. True.
Australian.
Yeah. $100 per hex.
Yo, that's fucking
100 Australian dollars per hex.
I say
down
bring
for
it
that,
on.
man.
I'm down
for that.
I'm fucking down for it.
I'm down for that. I'm gonna tell you how many X's it is from here, from the current price of hex to $100. Oh, this is not Australian dollars, so I'm gonna go to $70. $70. From current price, it is 110x. Yeah, exactly 110x.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh,
6 cents.
I kind of would want people buying now to
cents.
get at least 100x.
No, it would be 1,000x. 60.
Have I measured this wrong? It's 100. So it's 110,000%. Oh, you're right. Sorry. You're right. Shit. I was off by one of the zeros. So that's the one. Yeah, you're right. It's 1,100x. Better. I was going to say, dude, 100x. That's shit. Like for people buying now, 1,000x is much better.
From the all-time low, from the local low of 1.7 cents to do another 10,000x, we go up to $3, right? Now, $3
is that right?
Yeah, 1.7.
What did you just say? From the low times 1,000x.
Hang on.
Wait, was it? 1,000x would go to $17.
$17. Hang on. Let me just see what I had. 300 times.
Wait, how about we do this math? I'm really enjoying this, by the way. How about we try something where we do the math the other way around, where we say, if someone was to buy Hex today, what's an amount that we would want them to get as an X for them to be like, Hex actually did really perform really well? Would you say 500X? Or would you say 250X?
No, hang on. That's their numbers for people who've been in crypto. So to impress someone who's been in crypto, like to impress you, you need like
20,000X. It needs to For me to get out of bed in the morning, it needs to be a minimum of 20,000 X. Don't even wake me up, bro.
I feel that way about airdrops. It's like, if you want me to click some shit, I need 4
and a theoretical risk to your OPSEC. Clicking shit. Yeah, fuck yeah. You know,
for me to get out of fucking bed with an airdrop, you better.
Some people have lost all their crypto, but it's not from airdrops, it's from fake airdrops. Like, so they get too excited and stuff. But anyway, sorry, let's stick with this. So how many, so you're saying, okay, there's 2 different cohorts here. There's people who are already in crypto, there's people new to crypto, and then there's probably a third category of people who are in crypto and are experienced enough to have actually experienced X's like 100, 500, 1,000, 10,000 X.
Yeah.
So we're obviously in the category of people that have experienced those really high X's. So I'm not caring about people like that, right? I want those other 2 categories.
Those people are hard to please.
People who are yeah. Fuck those guys. Fuck those guys. They've already had their 10,000 X. They're done. Like they're sweet. For people who are either new to crypto or at least new to like high gain crypto, would you say 200X or 250X or 500X?
Dude,
I think if you're
new to crypto,
yep,
a 10X is amazing. No. If you're new,
this is important. Even someone who is quote unquote new to crypto, so they haven't experienced those gains, they've heard about them from their friends. So people coming into crypto, dude, they've never had more than like a 2X on a legacy
when it starts
product,
happening to you,
they are going to have heard of some shit, motherfucker.
Like, you start getting moist when you see that shit for the first time, dude. You've never experienced it. Even if you've like seen other people experience it, when you see it in your own account for the first time and it's a 10X, you're like, holy fuck, right?
How about
I'll give it to you.
I'll meet you halfway. I'll meet you halfway. I was about to say I'll meet you halfway on a log scale. So you're 10X, I'm 200X, we'll go 100X. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
done. Okay.
So we times
everyone's impressed.
We'll times the bottom by 100X. That's $1.70. I think that's nice. I think that's very nice. That's well within my, like, I think my most conservative target mentally that I haven't publicized for HEX within this bull is within that. That's within that. And if we do it from the current price, then it's obviously going to be like $6 or $6.20, $6.30.
And that, so we're assuming that that's across 2 chains. Yeah.
That basically, and that someone bought. Oh, true. That's a good point. Then, yeah, that's a good point. That's the 2 hexes summed together, because I'm talking about basically anyone who's bought this dip, like this market bottom, basically anyone who's bought HEX over the last like 9 months would get at least a 100X once we get to $1.70. Bro, easy. So it's like, I know for some people will be screaming at their phone, like, you bitches are doing sub-mil FUD. Shut up. Like that is shit. Like, why are you guys fudding the price so hard? But I like to just do this conservative math so that it almost, like, to basically show people that even the most conservative shit is also pretty moonish. Like it's pretty enjoyable gains even at the conservative end of the spectrum.
10,000 for us to do another 10,000X from here.
All right, let's go. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's go.
Hang on.
Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Full moon math. Math. How many X's do we have to do to get to $1 million a coin? So for HEX to get to $1 million.
No. Hang on. No. So we did 300. If you go trace back to the 1.7, that's about a 300X from the all-time low, right? But then starting from 1.7.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm doing another 10,000X from this low. So if doing another 10,000X from this low would be $170.
We need to do 16 2/3 million X from here to get to $1 million.
Hang on a sec. Do you know why this might be unrealistic? Let me just...
Just one reason. Just one reason why this might be unrealistic.
I was just going 10,000x times 300. Hang on.
Okay.
So no, this actually works. That's so if we did a 10,000x on top of the 300x to 1.7 cents, that would be a 3 million x overall from all-time low to all-time high, which gets us to that $170 mark. Now, that is, do you know why that is? That is like, that's moon math type stuff, right? But do you know why that's not? This is not unrealistic long term. And the reason it's not unrealistic long term is because Bitcoin did a 6.9 million x. So Bitcoin's already done this shit. Bitcoin did this shit. It did it. It did it at 30,
so
at 35K.
Like, say, if you said rather than just focusing on this bull market, if you were to allow 2 more bull markets, like, so at the end of the next bull market, these prices are definitely not unrealistic.
Yeah. It might be a couple of cycles away. It might be 2 or 3 cycles away, but I don't think it's unrealistic. Bitcoin did it, and that's my point of reference. I look at Bitcoin and I say, well, Bitcoin did it. Well, it's possible. If it's possible, then HEX, which is, in my opinion, better than Bitcoin.
I've got an idea.
Do it. Yeah.
Let's look at if we're doing X's from all-time highs through this bull market and the following one, and you just use like a fairly conservative X. So you're starting at 50 cents. You're going, so then the top of the next one, and we need to work out what X we're going to use here. Should we use 100X again, or like
from the top? That's too much from the top. That's too much from the top.
No, but keep in mind that, like,
you can only do something like a 30x or a 50x max from the top.
Okay, in fact,
so
in that case, let's use 10x. I want to keep this conservative. So let's say
let's just look at what Bitcoin did. Let's base what we do off what has already been achieved. So Bitcoin went to, what was the high back in the day? It went to about $1,200. It went to $1,200, and then it went to $20,000, which is like an 18x, right? So I think it's reasonable to say an 18x from an all-time high of 50 cents. What's that?
Well, so I did two 10x's. Like, so I said, if we did a 10x from all-time high this cycle,
that'd be $10.
10x thing, it would end up being $50, because you go from 50 cents, 10x, and then off that all-time high, another 10x. If we use 18 instead, it would be 0.5 times 18, and then you just, because then you're going, that's $9, and then you times by another 18 for the following cycle. Oh, wait, because then the next cycle has to be lower again. So it's like, say, 5 or something. That's $45. So, because you can't, like, the way I did it when I did times 10, you've got to, each subsequent cycle, you're assuming that if it follows the same thing as Bitcoin, that it's lowering each time, depreciating gains or whatever, pumps. Do you know what the magic number was for Bitcoin? It was 5.3. So every bull market run from low to high was, but each subsequent one was a division of 5.3. It's like, it's really weird. It's almost uncanny that if you do the math, it's every cycle was 5.3 times less gains from low to high. Yeah. I think we're going to break that model on Bitcoin this cycle, because if you divide by 5.3, it only basically just goes back up to the same number. It goes to 77K, which is barely above all-time high.
That model can't continue like that.
It can't continue, because then it'll eventually start going down, right?
Like, it has to curve. That has to be a curve. Like, it has to taper. So maybe it's 4 or 3. You divide it by 3 or something.
Yeah, because they're measuring it from the lows. You can't keep dividing it like that. Otherwise, the shit will actually eventually go backwards. So if you were measuring from the highs, you could have one like that. You could have a model like that. But unfortunately, then the ratios get stuffed. But let's say on HEX, if we did that and my chart doesn't go back that far. But basically, if someone was to measure the gain, the overall gain. Oh, wait, we call it a 10,000x, right? So everyone says 10,000. Let's just use 10,000x. Divide that by 5.3. So 10,000x divided by 5.3. So this, again, we're doing the Richard Hart. Let's just look at an example from the past and look at what is possible. It means we would do 1,886x this bull run. And that would be from the bottom. So we times that by 1.7 cents. So that's $32 for HEX this cycle. And that has to happen because Richard said so. Jokes. So $32. That's another way of calculating it. Since we're doing everything, we're saying is moon math, but that's $32 this cycle.
I think people like round numbers. I think people like round numbers as well. I think round numbers. So it depends what happens, but if we start pushing into the single digit dollars, and all of my estimations are considering that it's PulseChain and Ethereum HEX, both of them. I think that my lower thing was around the 160, 170. That was my sort of what I thought the lower end of the spectrum, but higher end of the spectrum, it could go as high as it could go up to $10. It could go up to who knows?
The fib extension goes to $4.20. I think I've mentioned that in the past.
Axis says it could go up to 70.
Axis says 70. Richard Hart said 32 guaranteed. It's do you know speaking of people like clipping shit out of context, I got a DM from someone that said, "Oi, someone clipped you in from a Twitter space that you held, and it sounds like you're giving that you've got like information from devs, like PulseChain devs that you've got an exact launch date for PulseChain." And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, 2 weeks." No. I said, look, it's clear to me. I don't know. I haven't heard the person that clipped me, but I'm assuming that they've taken when I state with confidence that it is exactly 2 weeks, and they've taken that out of context and they've put that up. So whenever I say exactly 2 weeks, that's obviously a meme. Whenever I say last chance under 5 cents, it's a meme. Although right now I'm thinking it is actually possible.
The last chance.
I think we might actually never go below 5.0 cents for HEX ever again. Like, so the generational ability to get that price.
Dude, you could be right, dude. You could be right. But
I think that's very likely. I think it's likely to be right. Because a lot of people are saying that even if we pull back from here, the dip won't go below 5 cents. There's a lot of TA reasons as to why. Because we've got that whole there was a zone of resistance that was basically 4.9 to 5.9 cents. That was my like boss battle. And now that entire zone will act as support if we go back down. So look, anything's possible, but I think it's unlikely we'll ever see sub 5 cent HEX prices ever again. And if that was correct as an investment thesis, then buying now only has the downside risk of just over a cent. Although percentage-wise, that's still quite a large drop because a cent out of 6 cents is like, what, like 17% or some shit.
But a very acceptable amount in crypto. Like,
yeah. It's like 20%. But like, you're right that in crypto, it's
20% is nothing.
Is nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah, dude.
I'm really liking this. I'm enjoying the HEX, and the HEX chart, not only for me, but for everyone, has kind of taken the pressure off PulseChain.
Can I tell you why we're enjoying this right now? I know exactly why we're enjoying it. Because what happened? No. Why we're enjoying having this discussion about like moon math and stuff.
Oh, the moon math, yeah.
Because we haven't done it in so long, because we all got scared about the SEC shit.
True.
Right? So everyone just like, got their panties in a bunch, is like, their emails going around and Discourse Syndicate, don't talk about price, don't do this. Dude.
I wasn't aware of any of that.
No, I didn't say anything to anyone. Because we were supposed to like make changes and stuff. And then I just thought about it. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not making any changes. I just made a decision for everyone.
Do you know I made one change? I add the emojis that they say are financial advice. I add it to every tweet now. Every tweet I try to remember every tweet to add those 3 emojis, the ones that got deemed to be like indicating that the tweet is financial advice. I put it on every tweet if I remember. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying the moon math because it's hard to get people to get excited about moon math when the prices are like down.
Thanks, Brazology. I like you too, bro. I like you too. I can't wait to meet up with you one day on a yacht somewhere and have a beer.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
That shit's happening, by the way. I keep telling people that one day we're going to meet up on a yacht somewhere, probably in the Mediterranean.
Yeah. Do you know there's a HEX hater? HEX hater, or is it that the HEX community hates him? Both, maybe. One, or it's at least one out of those two.
Who is it? Type it in the chat. Type chat.
I'll type it in the chat. If I'm not trying to protect him, I just don't want people to go and get scammed. Like,
yeah.
You tell me. I'm putting this in the private chat. You tell me if that's someone we shouldn't mention. So anyway, that motherfucker tweeted.
I don't even. Oh, hang on. Is that the guy who did the he did an interview with Richard Hart, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this motherfucker,
I think we can
tweeted
say
out.
I think you can say it.
Okay. So Meet Kevin tweeted out, "Oh, I just paid Elon Musk. Like I sent the invoice to get Starlink in my jet." And I'm like, "What? This clown's got a fucking jet?" Like, he wasn't joking around because on the invoice it says it's like the aviation version of Starlink. I'm like, this fuck has got a jet, bro. He got jets before us. Like, he got a jet before we got jets. No, that pisses me off, bro.
By scamming people.
Pisses me off, bro. Like, yes, by fucking shilling FTX and shit.
Yeah.
So he's using, if you got scammed in FTX, which there wouldn't be many people in the HEX community, but those people are paying for him to have Starlink on his jet and probably for the jet as well. Pisses me off.
How long until there's going to be like numerous hexagons just doing all the jet meme shit? Like, how long? I think next bull market, there's going to be some, I think the quality of our Twitter content is going to increase in correlation with the price, because there's going to be a lot more supercar Twitter shit like to do with HEX. It's just going to, that shit is just going to fucking go through the roof. Can you imagine when like hundreds of like OGs all have fucking Lambos like as their second car?
Yeah. Because there'd be a lot of regret as well. People who saw their wealth go up and then held diamond-handed it all the way back down, and they're like, "Oh, I could have bought an entire fleet of Ferraris, and maybe this time on this bull market, I should buy at least one." Like that kind of attitude. So, and you know, maybe that's a reason why we see these charts in crypto where subsequent bull markets the price doesn't pump as hard, because the people filled with regret that held that asset are like, this time I'm at least going to get. So Bitcoiners from the first cycle might be like, oh, the next bull run, I'm going to buy a mansion. I'm going to buy a soccer team or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But the thing I was going to say is like,
dude, they've been saying when Lambo for like fucking 3 years, and they're like, now Lambo.
Now
like
Lambo.
Now Lambo.
Hashtag now Lambo. I like that. You know, something that Richard Hart said that I disagree with a little bit, where he said, you guys don't need to go and buy flashy shit. I'll do all the buying of flashy shit because it works well for marketing. But you wait, because you're probably going to agree with me. I disagree with that because something he's kind of actually disagrees with himself when he says, if you look at people who are like life coaches or whatever, you should see that the people they have mentored have succeeded in the thing that they are pitching, right? So I think it's actually quite important that there are hexagons that are flexing these kinds of things, because that just proves that it wasn't just the founder that got rich, that there were actually real people who really got wealthy from being involved in this thing. I mean, obviously that happens in scams as well. Like some people get rich off Ponzi's that aren't the founder if you're in early enough. So don't go around, like, I need to be careful with how I talk about this sort of stuff because I don't want people going around on Twitter being like, look, this guy bought a Lambo. See, HEX is not a scam. That doesn't prove HEX is not a scam. However, it does prove it's one step in that, hey, look, someone got rich that wasn't just the founder. It's not just Richard enriching himself and then everyone else being poor and being sold a dream.
It's also like on a really simple, level, it's people looking at the nice shit that you have and saying, fuck, I want that. How the fuck did he get it?
Yeah, it's more relatable. Like, it's more relatable if someone got rich that wasn't the founder, because someone coming into it is like, I'm not the founder, so am I going to get rich? And then they can see, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
There's a lot of comments to do with this. There was also, like, I remember in the last bull run when there were some people flexing, there was also some hate for the flexing. There were people like hating on it. It's like, why are you selling your HEX? You know, all that shit.
Oh, yeah. I noticed a lot of people would specifically mention that they didn't sell HEX to buy that item so that people wouldn't throw that level of like.
I'm just going to say right now, if you see me on Twitter driving a Lambo, I fucking sold HEX to get a Lambo. All right. I'm just going to tell you right now in advance, don't fucking be coming on Twitter telling me like some shit. I'm telling you now, if I'm driving a Lambo, I sold the fuck out of HEX. All right. That's it.
Yeah, shit, yeah. I've always been in the group that says you need to assume, like, there's no friends on a fresh powder day. That's like a snowboarding term for when shit's going really well. Like, you're not waiting for your buddies. You're not doing them any favors. You're not helping them out. You're out there fucking shredding. And so it's like the whole point of crypto, one of the main ethos is adversarial mindset. You assume that everyone is in self-interest. So you want to assume that people with big bags are going to sell them. You want to assume that like no one's going to have like little deals where like, hey man, how about you don't sell and I don't sell so that we can see the price go really high? No, you assume that everyone in the network is going to do what they want and do what's best for them selfishly. And in this particular case, you just hope that the number going up is enough of an advertisement that it brings enough new money in to offset anyone who's taking profit.
I got a question. I remember Jexa talking about this a while back, that you said that you don't actually have to sell HEX. What you can do is you can lock it up into a HSI for 15 years and then sell the HSI and then cash out that.
You could do that if the price of Arcosa wasn't fucking wrecked. I thought you were going to say liquid loans. I would just use liquid loans.
But the price,
in fact,
isn't like Icosa, don't you get? I can't remember what the what the equation is for getting Icosa for
it's
HSI.
Fine. It's fine when the Icosa to HEX price is like reasonable, but at the moment it's fucking wrecked. It's like under 10. It's like 9.6 or something. It's wrecked. It's completely wrecked. But if that ratio was where it's supposed to be, or I shouldn't even say where it's supposed to be, where near the ARB ceiling, so closer to like sort of like low 30s, if it was up there, then you could absolutely do what you're saying and lock the HEX up. So now the HEX is locked and whoever buys it out of the auction still is getting something that's locked for 5555. So it's like, the HEX is perma locked and you're still able. So that is just one method of how you can do it. You could use these like loan protocols.
You're taking a massive hit to do that right now.
At the moment, you're getting absolutely fucked. You're getting absolutely fucked. Yeah. You're getting like a third of what it's like a third of what the shit would be worth. So if you're happy with a third, less than a third, then you can do it. But why would you?
Quick question.
Eurus or Q8? I'd go the Eurus. But I already have a Q. So I already own a Q5. So I guess like, you know when you've already had something, so it loses a little bit of its novelty. I know a Q8 and a Q5 are not the same vehicle, but they're the same brand, and they're similar enough that going to a Q8, I'd be like, this is just a bigger version of what I've already got. Whereas going to a Urus is a completely different animal, way faster. I've driven a Q8 because Audi invite me to their like special nights where they test drive, where you can test drive all the like best cars and shit, and they actually have these nights. This absolutely shocks me. I don't even know if I should admit this publicly because I don't want it to end. But so you go there, there's champagne and food, right? It's like champagne and nibbles. And then all the keys are like for all the cars are with this chick. And you just show your license and she just writes your name down so they know who's got what car. But other than that, that's it. So they just write your name and the car that you took, and you go and you don't even have a representative from the dealer. You just go in the car by yourself or with your mates or with other people who have rocked up, and you just take the car and just go for a thrash and then just come back with all of their fastest cars. Like, it was like, it's fucking nuts, man. It's nuts. And on that night they had the Q8 this was when it was brand new.
I need to do that shit.
The first time they had released the Q8.
Like that, man. I cannot wait to do shit like that.
Yeah, this was not. I couldn't believe it, man, because I was like, surely they come with you in the vehicle.
No, it's a bit like the bonding moment for me and my son. Like I already know. This will be a moment we look back on.
Bro. This was the craziest part. The guys that work there on the night, like that are like hosting, they were telling us where to go, which is like, they're like, yo, if you go out that road, take that road, and then you like hook a few lefts. They're like, there's an industrial area where like there's some nice runs where it's like nice and quiet, and there's generally no cops around, and you've got right of way the whole. And you're like, are these I swear to God, this story is true. Like, as in, they're basically giving you the advice on where to go so you can thrash the cars. And also there's alcohol. Like obviously they don't want you to come there and like be like smashing free drinks. You're meant to be keeping it classy. Like, and if they saw someone being like real drunk, they'd probably be like, bro, you can't drive the cars now. And also the true car enthusiasts, we're not drinking, man. We're like, no, these cars are on rotation, bro. They come back hot, and then you might be waiting for a specific car, and you'll be like, I'm next for this car. So you're just like sitting there waiting for this person to come back. And it's like an honor system that everyone knows that if you're taking the cars out and you're gone for ages, then other people are missing out on being able to try that car. So it's like everyone does the right thing and keeps their drives like reasonably short and doesn't go like huge. But yeah, I guess they just perceive that the
10 minutes, 15 minutes,
or even less. Like most people would only go for like maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes. Like you can go, like there's no rules. You can take it for longer. But I think 10 minutes is cool. It's hard to open something up properly, like in 5 minutes. Like, well, but what I was going to say is like these cars are already warmed up, and if you're pushing a car really hard, 5 minutes of driving is actually like a long time. That's you can test launch control. Oh, bro, there's a video, dude. There's actually a video on my Instagram of me, like, and sorry, we'll stop talking about cars in a second, but this is like, so if you go on my Instagram, there's a video that was taken by one of the other owners that rocked up of us testing the launch control in a brand new RS5. And so that's like Audi's A5, but it's like the most psycho version. And this thing shocked me. And both of us have been in really fast cars. And this thing, it just hooked up, and it was like the acceleration was really, really crazy. Like it was like faster than Lambo level acceleration. It felt like it anyway. I don't know why, but it was just. The video of my shock is on my Instagram.
Right. Okay. Can you show it? I don't have Instagram.
Let's see.
I don't have TikTok.
If I share a video,
Don't dox any shit, man. Don't dox any shit.
No. It's fine. It's just my Instagram. I keep that public anyway. But you don't hear the volume, right? If I play something at my side, the volume doesn't go through. And the volume's really the part that's important because it's us being like, oh shit, that's like faster than a fucking Lambo.
Do you have to be logged in, or will Instagram just play it on anything? Because I can.
Oh yeah, good point. You could just go to my Instagram. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
If you give me the link, I'll try and play it. Yeah. Have you ever driven accelerated or driven a Tesla, like a fast one?
No, I've been in a Nissan GTR, but I've never been in a Tesla. Not one. No. I've never been in any Tesla. Not even a slow one.
I've only heard Joe Rogan talk about it, and he reckons they're fast as fuck.
Oh, dude, I think they're the fastest street car. Like, as in,
acceleration.
They're the fastest like production car.
Yeah.
It used to be.
It'd be weird as well because there's no like regular engine revving, so it feels.
Oh yeah, it would just be like, shh, right? It would just be silent, basically. You'd hear wind. You would hear wind noise and tire noise. I'd really like to
test a Tesla. I'd like to test drive a Tesla.
Yeah, man, do it. Richard bought a Tesla for his dad.
Oh, did he?
I think so. Yeah. He said that shit. While I pull this up, do you have an estimate for PulseChain? So, like, I heard. I won't say who it was because I don't want people to like be negative towards him. But a well-known HEX influencer came into one of my spaces and started like fudding the tweet that Richard did, the one about the bug that got fixed. He's like, oh, there's lots of stuff in there that he's not talking about, and so it's like,
is this a hexagon or
hexagon? Yeah. A well-known hexagon was. I mean, someone said it's not FUD, but who was it? FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So if it's casting uncertainty and doubt, that's 2 out of 3 FUD, right? Like, as in that still counts as FUD. Some people define FUD as being like unsubstantiated FUD, or like unnecessary FUD, or deliberately malicious FUD.
Who was it?
But my definition of FUD is just anything that causes actual fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Are you able?
I guess I can say who. Yeah, I guess I can say who it is. It's Matty. So it wasn't bad or anything, but he was basically just saying like, oh look, everyone's getting really bullish off this tweet, and in my opinion, this could actually be seen as bad news, like bad news for PulseChain in terms of delays and shit. But so what do you think in terms?
I'm just waiting until they say, hey, this shit's ready.
Oh, so you're doing like a no hope, no hopes up.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited that other people are excited because that pushes the price up. So that's why I love it when other people get excited. You know, I'll be happy about it when it actually gets launched, man. When version 3 comes out,
bro. I will need to pinch myself. Like I will. It'll be hard for me to believe that I'm actually living in reality when it actually.
Are you happy for me for the URL to be seen though?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I publicize my Insta.
Okay.
But you're gonna need to scroll down a fair bit because at that time I was posting a lot. You go down.
I hope this lets me do it, but.
I'm going to find it as well, just to save you time in terms of, so I can tell you how far down it is.
Are these recent photos? Sorry, dude, I'm just checking out.
No, I actually haven't posted for a really long time, but I was posting like a madman back at that time.
Excuse my distraction.
Wait a second. Shit, why can I not find this thing? Maybe I should have found this first. Maybe I should have found this video first.
Dude, this was definitely a bad idea showing me these photos while we're on live stream.
But I'll tell you how far down to go, so you can just go straight down to the right spot. Must have been a longer time.
I'm where the HEX cars are. The HEX NASCAR.
1 sec. Oh yeah, no. You need to go way down. So you'll eventually see some pictures where it's like cupcakes and a Bitcoin mug and a Bitcoin watch. When you see those, so I want you to like go down, like way down. There's like multiple pages down, and eventually,
this shit's not letting me do it.
When you see me wearing, wait, no, bro, I've just worked it out. I can send you the link that goes straight to the video rather than you having to scroll through that shit. Boom. And apologies to all the viewers who are like putting up with how much I'm talking about cars instead of crypto in this stream. But bro, the look on my face, I still remember the feeling of my stomach just absolutely getting dropped out. It took me by surprise. And by the way, if for anyone who's thinking, oh, this rookie might not have been in a fast car, both the guy filming and I had been in like Nissan GTRs of multi, like R34 and R35 GTRs, Lambos. He's been in like fucking McLarens. He's been in a McLaren Senna. This dude has been in a McLaren Senna. Yeah, go.
Tell me if ready.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Dude, that just left my stomach behind. Holy shit! That was so quick.
Can you hear it, dude?
I did not expect that. I didn't realize that was actually launch control working. Like,
yeah, that was launch control.
Oh, that's you.
No,
that was mad.
You know what? I'm going to go straight and we'll just do that one more time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so we do it one more time off these.
Crazy.
Oh, I can't hear one.
That was insane.
That was insane, man. And no chirping of the wheels or anything like that. A little bit there, a little bit of chirp. And at that time I was more ready for it.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
But you don't expect
we were bracing more.
You know what's funny? I was like looking at people taking off from the dealership in all the RS cars and going, man, these people
Did you hear I almost said the C word?
I actually can't hear any of it, dude. For some reason, I'm not hearing any of it.
Wait. This thumbnail looks like clickbait.
Oh yeah, in sport, in one of the auto ones. Holy shit! Holy shit!
No, it's legit.
Dude,
it's
that
legit
just left my stomach behind. Holy shit!
The
was
audio
so
and the video
quick.
aren't matching up.
I did not expect that. I didn't realize that was actually launch control working.
Yeah, that was launch control.
I believe this shit. Oh my god,
that was mad.
You know what? I'm going to go straight and do that one more time.
Oh yeah.
It was so.
That was crazy.
That was insane.
That was insane, man.
You can see by the reaction. You're shocked.
Yeah,
and no chirping of the wheels or anything like that.
No.
That's cool.
So basically, if you couldn't hear the audio, we were basically just talking about how well it hooked up, how quick it was compared to other cars we've been in, and then at the end, I almost said the C word, but caught myself.
I'm just gonna send myself that link.
It was nuts, man. It was freaking nuts. That I think, yeah, because the Audi R8 that they had that night was a 2-wheel drive one. So I think that was actually the fastest car that we were in that night, because in terms of like the ones that have got the 4-wheel drive, you know what I mean? Like, as in that launch control and 4-wheel drive, man, just insane. Absolutely insane.
Sorry, dude, I just got distracted for a second because I was looking at this link. Well, look, we should probably wind it up because we've been
let's wind it up. Let's wind it up.
I just wanted
Hex price is 6.23.
6.23. I just wanted to mention that I think someone came up with a new website. Has anyone checked it out?
Hex one. Oh, yeah. Is that the one that aggregates all the other ones?
I think it's called hexbase.de.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Let me check it out.
He basically said that he basically does it so that all the really good websites basically become tabs on his website, so you can just have them all in one place or something.
This is it.
I heard about that shit. Did you say it's hex base? Hex, what is it? Hex?
It's I'll put it in the chat. It's hexbase.de/service. Okay. Start stakes, end stakes. What else have we got here? Overview. Or is that the overview?
I just also clicked on overview, but for some reason my shit's loading quite slowly.
That's because everyone in this stream has gone to the website. Fuck, I shouldn't have posted it.
And it's probably quite data intensive as well. The site itself is probably like heavy on the data.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Starting staking.
So I know you didn't give an estimate for PulseChain, but I actually think it.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said that I think that it's going to be live in July.
No. Oh, no. You're talking about that's mainnet.
Mainnet, yeah.
Yeah. But what about testnet? I'm personally, I know this is going to sound like I'm doing the meme, but I'm choosing 2 weeks.
4 weeks.
I'm choosing 2 weeks. I'm saying 2 weeks.
Isn't it 4 weeks? Or is it 2 weeks?
If that bug was really the main thing that was holding shit up, then I think it should be within the next 2 weeks. So, yeah, my site never loaded up, but I guess I don't need it if you've got it.
Site looks cool, man. It's nice and clean.
You know, this is the sort of stuff that kept me bullish in the bear market, where I was constantly just thinking about the amount of people who are working on HEX in every different angle possible, and how, like, when you've got a community like that, that's not just enthusiastic about talking about the coin and buying it, but people are just constantly trying to think of ways to, like, do the marketing better and make websites that are even more and searching deeply for, like, metrics that they can go and popularize and say, hey, look at the number of wallet addresses or number of new stakers, or look at how the T-share price is going up, or whatever. Like, that's a simple one, but you know what I mean? Like, as in, people, it seems to me, I know we're in a bit of not an echo chamber, but, like, we see a lot of what goes on by being active on Twitter, right? But I get this vibe, like, almost everyone in the community is just constantly trying to find stuff that is positive about HEX that other people haven't found yet. Like, going and look at, like, deep searching metrics. Some people are checking the GitLab of PulseChain, and some people are, like, going back through Richard's videos and, like, clipping that shit and putting it up. And, like, it's like everyone's just out there trying to find something that they can use to make themselves and others bullish about HEX. And it's like, when you've got that much shit going on and the actual market sentiment shifts from bear to bull, bro, like, that's the dam bursting, and it's just like, get the fuck out.
When,
like,
all right, let me give you an analogy. You know, when, like, there are people who sort of like a sports team but don't really go to the matches and don't really follow it.
Yep.
But when that sports team starts doing well and they get into the grand final, like, they're the number one. Yeah. They're like the number one.
Got the Dockers hat and the fucking wearing purple
how many
t-shirts
people are going to jump on the HEX bandwagon when this shit starts to pump, man?
Dude, already happening. So people who went and supported down,
but we see nothing. We haven't seen anything yet, man.
People who went and just absolutely gave mad gobbies to Down Forever Coin Boy. Like, they were absolutely blowing that guy. They would block. Oh, we love you so much. Can you wreck us even harder, please? Oh, how quickly! Oh, look at how quickly I can get wrecked on this coin. It's brilliant. Oh my
What
god!
was
I'm
it
gonna
though?
make.
What was
Oh
it
my
because
god!
he
I'm
was
gonna
from
make.
Google?
I'm
But
gonna
it
make
was
so much.
because he was some like a Google OG.
Yeah, he claimed to be
guy.
ex-Google. Yeah, he claimed to be ex-Google.
No,
And they
but
were
he was like
oh
one
my.
of the early employees of Google. So because of that, I think that got a lot of kudos in the community.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah, he
but
leveraged off being an intern at Google to that's not my words. Someone else said that he wasn't like a full, like he wasn't like a founder. Like he claimed to be a founder, but he was just a founding employee. And at that age, I think he was like pretty fuck all. His role was, I got told he was just like an intern, but I don't know. Maybe someone was just trash talking him. But anyway,
by the way, I don't think the people like. Do people who are not Australian know what gobbies are?
I did say blown. I said blown as well. I said blown as well. Did you say blown?
Okay.
But
so
yeah,
I know the Aussies. All the Aussies know what gobbies are.
So basically, they were like, "Oh my god, I am going to make so much money in 8 years from now. In 8 years, this chart is going to start actually going up. We're going to get the bottom in 8 years. We're going to make so much money. Let's get rich together." And now I'm told, I haven't seen it I only saw one person flip back, but I thought that was just from like intellectual honesty, that because he said a lot of HEX OGs got in his inbox and they were like, bro, please let us explain to you and break this down as to why that is shit and why HEX is king and why that thing that you're now promoting is garbage. And he claims that they got through to him. So, but I'm told that other people who were like 100% supporting Down Forever Coin have tried to like come back and pretend like they never left and be like, no, I've been pro HEX the whole time, bro. What are you talking about? Just like gaslight us into believing that, no, what? I haven't even heard of that other coin. What? No, I wouldn't invest in that shit. Bro, come on, bro. Don't even... What, you think someone like me would invest in a Down Forever coin? No way, bro. I've been HEX all the time, the whole time. I've been here representing. I've been out in the streets telling people buy HEX. That's what's happening now. And there's basically mixed feelings within the community of whether they should be allowed back in or not. But I'm just like, whatever, man. Like, I'm not going to try and police what people do. Like, if they want to come back and pump my bags, I'm not going to say no.
If they learnt from their mistakes.
That's the question people are asking. It's like, will those same people who have shown themselves to be notorious of basically just like hopping onto whatever they think is the shit that's going to get them the most new subs? It's two things, right? I think it's like they are kind of also doing their own vampire attack, trying to leech users from another community to get their subscriber base up. So imagine you've got a YouTube channel, right? If you bounce around like that to any coin that has like an enthusiastic community, your subscriber base goes up, particularly because a lot of people are too slack to actually unsubscribe. Like you've got to do some pretty heinous shit for someone to be like, I'm actually going to take the time to go to my list of subscribed YouTube accounts and go and find this motherfucker and unsubscribe. People are usually too slack for that shit. So I think for some people, it's like a strategy to increase their subs. So for those people, we would theoretically see them doing it again the next time there's another new coin that has like hype around it. But hopefully for the people who got genuinely fooled, they've learnt their lesson and they'll never leave HEX ever again.
I wonder what's different between them and us. I won't even say you, because
bro, just built different. We're just built different.
You are like pretty, but you're like also like Bitcoin like lover.
The thing that I learned from Bitcoin, the thing I learned from being in Bitcoin for so long is you don't fuck your rep. You don't risk fucking your rep. That's why people might not have realized that at the time. But for me to support something that was not Bitcoin as early in its life as HEX was a massive fucking deal for me, and should have been, like, because you're like,
yeah. You put it on the line. You
Yep.
put like you believed, and this is why like a few weeks back I actually gave you props because you're like Bitcoin. I think you got in 2013, yeah, 14, 13.
Late 2012.
Yeah. So, and I gave you props. I'm like, dude, for someone whose coin HEX is not, it's not your coin like it is Richard Hart's. You're a Bitcoin OG, but you believe in HEX like as much as. Actually, I don't want to speak for you, but
it was the first and only coin that I've ever supported to this level, like or anywhere close to this level at all, really, other than Bitcoin.
Yeah,
like
but you've never been a maxi that doesn't invest in other stuff. You've always put stuff into other.
Oh
things,
yeah,
you've never been. You've never been vocal. You've never been a vote.
I was guilty. I was guilty shitcoining and like not telling Bitcoiners and stuff. Like I was like,
yeah.
I was doing that like having to flog myself like a Catholic that's just masturbated or something. Like it was like because
what are you talking about, dude?
Even most
Catholics
Bitcoiners
don't whip themselves after masturbation.
even most Bitcoiners admitted that they would say it's acceptable to shitcoin to try and increase your Bitcoin stack. It was only like at that time, it was only the most like hardcore maxis that would say, no, that's to the detriment of everyone. If you even go outside of Bitcoin, because you're lending credibility by just adding volume and like shit to these shit coins. Like you're doing everyone a disservice because the less people that involve themselves, the quicker these coins die. And if these coins just continually die, then people will just stop making them, right? That was what
it's called self-flagellation when you
whip yourself out of guilt.
I believe
that's right. I think that's right.
Yeah, self-flagellation.
So I guess the point is like that. If you care about whether you're going to look smart or dumb in the future, then you do have to be selective about what projects you will support. And look, in hindsight sounds easy, right? Like it'd be like, oh, supporting HEX is like some people new to HEX might be like, oh, but supporting HEX is a bit of a no-brainer. Like it was low risk, but not at the time. Not at the time with something so new.
No. And the FUD and the scam narrative was hot at the start. Like there were websites dedicated to this shit.
Yeah,
dude,
the consensus of the broader crypto space, like the general consensus was that it was a scam. So it was like it did take a level of like risk and bravery and shit to be. No, you needed to be fully convicted. You need to be fully convicted.
You needed to be able to assess it on its merits. And anyone who'd been listening to Richard Hart talk about it and then looked into it and was able to assess it on its merits was also able to, ignore the scam narrative, because the scam narrative didn't have any good points. It didn't have any good points to it. So you'd know the facts on one hand because you'd done your research, and then you'd listen to these people fudding it, and you're like, this FUD, this is all just nonsense. There's nothing of substance here.
Richard was able to put my concerns at rest. Like, as in, I didn't have to directly ask him. These things just came up because you know how like all the shit, people were constantly firing shit at him. Like with watching enough of his stuff, everything that I thought in my head that could potentially be a problem eventually came up without me having to be the one asking it. And I was satisfied with his answers to each of those things. And even the ones where it sounded like he's just brushing it off, like, look, that doesn't matter because of this. And it sounds like maybe, I was like, that actually is logical though. Like that makes sense. And is probably something that we're not going to be able to like prove that it's not like, that's something where you're just going to have to accept the risk. But this sounds logical enough to me that it won't be a problem, or it's not likely to be a problem.
It's going to go the way that Bitcoin did, because Bitcoin had a lot of scam narrative stuff, and still there are still people who will tell you Bitcoin's a scam.
Yeah,
like
true.
Crypto is a scam.
True.
Like, there are still people who will tell you that. So the scam narrative won't go away. Like it will
not completely. It'll never go away completely. Especially as long as Bitcoiners exist, to them, anything subsequent, like So yeah,
It
you're
will
right.
slowly the scam narrative will slowly retreat into a corner and stand there by itself, and no one will pay attention to it in future.
I think basically it gets to the have fun staying poor phase of the scam, where you are able to say to people like, yeah, man, like I can't prove to you that with 100% that this is not a scam, but like I've been in HEX for like 7-8 years now, and like I'm in a Lambo and you're not, and like at this point, like
and this is a good comment by Ted DeFi. People who say crypto is a scam don't understand fiat.
Bro,
Yeah,
truth.
word.
Truth. That is so true.
Dude.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
We've just ticked over to the first. It's no longer, well, where I am, it's midnight. So
remember, monthly closes. Monthly
it's
closes in 11 hours.
awesome.
Monthly candle closes on all charts 11 hours from now. And and that's my closeout comment. Stay real, keep it safe, try and stay free, free yourself financially, and
happy autumn to everyone in Victoria.
And LFG and LFG.
Is that even a thing? What's that? LFG.
LFG.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. All
Watch
right.
me fly out of here.
He's gone. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I want to say thanks to everyone in the chat. Thank you. And yeah, that's it.